Well, Nandini is the pride of Karnataka. Who better a judge in democracy than public themselves?
But what will happen in last 4 years?
4 years it has developed a lot.
What happened?
Namaskara.
See, very smartly I see you're also campaigning simultaneously, huh? Why are you bringing dessert before you bring me breakfast?
I hope you're not those who eats dosa with a spoon and fork.
No.
Indians.
Tejasvi Surya,
Hi,
welcome
morning,
to
Rahul.
Jab We Met.
Welcome to Bangalore.
Nice to see you on the football field early in the morning. I see
you,
you
Rahul.
take fitness seriously.
I try to, but I've kind of lost some touch with football. I've been running and cycling though recently.
I read somewhere you completed an Ironman challenge.
Last time,
What,
in
70
Goa,
odd kilometers?
90 kilometers of cycling. I did a half Ironman cycling relay. So yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, but it's
So,
good to
but
see an Indian
You play a lot
Neta.
of sports.
Well, you're completing 90 kilometers of cycling. That's like pretty serious. Are you being able to keep up given your campaigning and the hectic schedule that you have?
On and off the last few months, like I said, haven't been very regularly and consistent. Just shows that I'm getting out of breath as well. But that's the thing, whether it's sport or anything, consistency is the key. And maybe once the elections are over, I'll be able to squeeze in more time.
Come, let's see you take a few penalties and see how it goes.
Come.
I think these guys are fixing it for you. Is that how close you take the penalty from? Yeah, I'm telling you, Tejasvi, these guys are fixing it for you, boss.
idea.
I think just because he's your MP, you're fixing it for him, man. Hey, they're like bringing the ball like really close to the goal. Okay, let's see.
Here we go.
Yeah, let's go.
Wow, that was a good one, Rahul.
Although I'm suspicious that because this is your team, they're bringing the ball really close to the goal.
Okay,
huh?
now I'm going to take this further away. I hope you don't make false allegations anymore like the Congress.
This match looks a bit
So-
fixed here.
See? Oh, that was a
Right,
good
Tejasvi,
split.
well done.
By the way, thank you.
Who's your favorite footballer?
It was Ronaldo as long as he was,
You can't. In the
Actively.
election, you can't be kicking all over like that. Huh? That's a dangerous kick in an election. What's your favorite sport, Tejasvi?
I love football.
I thought you'd say politics.
Politics isn't a sport, it's not a game. It's very serious mission in service of people, Rahul.
Do you feel in this election that the BJP is a few goals down?
Not at all. The 13th of May, you will see the scoreboards ticking and we will be right up there forming the government. That's what the 13th of May is going to look like, Rahul.
This was fun.
Thank you.
It's good to see you guys play. And sorry for busting your game. These guys
Bye
are
Abhi,
like
bye Syed. See you.
serious players. They're like, ये कहाँ से आ गए बीच में हमारी game खराब करने के लिए.
Why don't I take you to a Nandini booth and have some?
Why can't we go to an Amul booth?
Because Nandini is the best here. It's quality-wise better. It's also cheaper, and it's the pride of Karnataka, Rahul.
No, but
you
why
will agree
can't-
with me when you taste Nandini milk right now.
Come, let's go. So you're calling this the pride of Karnataka, Tejasvi?
Absolutely. Namaskara, sir. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಸರ್ ಎರಡು ಕೋಲ್ಡ್ ಹಾಲು ಕೊಡಿ ಅಣ್ಣ.
What's your favorite over here?
This is the badam milk,
Badam.
which is one of their best. Rahul, this is another signature Nandini sweet.
Which one is it?
This is called Nandini Bite.
No, why can't it be my decision to choose what I want to have? I mean, maybe I wanted an Amul buttermilk this morning.
Amul is already selling in Karnataka. So is Milma. So is Arokya. So is Heritage. So are all of these brands that originally hail from Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Telangana. This whole issue, Rahul, is one that was manufactured it was given a twist by the Congress as though Nandini is going to be subsumed into Amul, and that henceforth it's going to be only Amul and Nandini is going to be closed. This was the kind of fear mongering. Even in Karnataka, you will find all of these brands competing with each other, but the reason why Nandini is beating everybody else hollow is because the quality of the milk
Because
is
you
so
also
good.
give it a subsidy, it's cheaper. The
It's-
government subsidizes it.
Because it's the livelihood for a great number of farmers in Karnataka, and it's a profit-making cooperative in the state. Since the BJP came to power here in Karnataka, the revenue of Nandini has soared, and it's almost 10,000 crore. So the volumetric sale has gone up, the product basket has gone up, the sales have gone up. By creating an issue of this kind, the Congress party is indeed hurting Nandini. And I'll give you an example. Why? About 15 to 20% of Nandini's turnover, Nandini's profit, comes from its out of Karnataka sales. Because
No, but other states could push back against
is what
this.
is happening right now.
So then?
So Kerala is saying, we are not going to allow for Nandini in Kerala because our own brand Milma is suffering. So this was a non-existent issue until the Congress raked it up.
Until you scored a self-goal.
What self-goal?
Because Amul announced in the middle of an election that they want to come here, and you kind of gave the Congress
Amul
an
came
issue on a
inside-
platter.
Rahul, Amul came inside Karnataka for the first time in 2017.
Correct.
When Siddaramaiah was the chief minister. So if at all the issue of Amul entering into Karnataka for the first time had to be created, it was supposed to be in 2017. The Congress themselves allowed the entry of Amul for the first time into Karnataka. So this whole issue that Amul tried to come into Karnataka for the first time and it was facilitated, so to say, by the BJP in the state is wrong, both in spirit as well as on facts. Rahul Gandhi was here recently, and this whole newfound love that the Congress has towards Nandini, in expression of that, he came to Nandini booth and said Nandini is the pride of Karnataka. While in his electoral state of Kerala, Nandini was being pushed back. So my request to both Rahul Gandhi, the now disqualified MP from Kerala, as well as the Congress party is, if you really love Nandini so much, why don't you facilitate its smooth sales in Kerala and other states, where now we are facing pushback for the first time? Why is milk an issue of division among people? We are confident that Nandini is capable of fighting any competition, whether it's here in the domestic market or whether it is internationally, because the quality of the produce, the quality of our products is world class, and unnecessarily creating division on the basis of religion, on the basis of caste, and now on the basis of even milk is something that the state is seeing for the first time, and the Congress will pay a very heavy price for this.
So what do you want to have?
Well, I had the badam milk. This is my favorite. This is another thing. You must also try the Nandini Peda, which is the trademark. In Mysore Paka idu. Nandini Peda kodi. One box e kottbidi tagondu hogi. ಆ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಪೇಡ ಕೊಡಿ, ವೈಟ್ ಪೇಡ. Yes. No, ಇದು ಕೊಡಿ. This is a small gift from our end to India Today and your team, Rahul. This is
Eat it. Let's see.
Yes. But
First play football, then eat peda. Here you go. Thanks. You also go for it. Good thing is very fresh, right?
absolutely. ಈ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ನವರಿಗೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನಂದಿನಿ ಅಮೂಲ್
ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕೇನಿಲ್ಲ ಏನಿದೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ
What's he saying?
saying the Congress has no issue left. Thank you, Yajmane.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
ಏನು ಸಮಾಚಾರ ಅಣ್ಣ? So Rahul, this is Agara Lake, one of the largest water bodies of South Bangalore.
But most lakes in Bengaluru have been in the news for completely the wrong reason. Encroachments, frothing. And this used to be Lake City at one point in time. Now these lakes are one of Bengaluru's biggest embarrassment.
I do not fully agree with what you are saying, Rahul, because even now you will be able to see how beautiful this Agara Lake is and how well kept this lake is. In fact,
No, but this could well be the exception. You've
No,
just
not at all.
picked this lake because this looks the way it does.
not at all. I have picked this lake
I've
because
seen
this is in
images
my
on television.
constituency.
We can play some on our screen right now. Some of
Rahul,
Bengaluru's lakes have just so much froth coming out. There's
All
so much
of these
chemicals.
issues that you mentioned, I will bring screenshots and news coverage of India Today from 2017 and 2018. when Congress was in power in the state. That's when the Bengaluru lake caught fire, there was frothing.
It's been happening on your watch also, sir.
Sir,
a lot of
please
the
tell
frothing
when.
images, right? Just a
2021, the Bengaluru lake, there was a fire incident.
Correct.
Because some miscreants created some fire, they lit a few, garbage that was next to the lake. But it wasn't the frothing and the lake itself lake bed catching fire the way it took place in 17 and 18. The reason for this improvement is that under our government, we have spent hundreds of crores in Bengaluru to develop and the infrastructure around the lakes, desilt all of these lakes. Even under the Amrut Nagarothana scheme, 75 lakes in Bengaluru are selected. This is also one of the lakes where Satish Reddy went to great pains to desilt the lake, create this walking track, reclaim the land that was
many of the new buildings and compartments are actually built on lake beds, which is why when it floods, the rainwater has no place to go.
See, these are definitely issues and challenges.
No, but what's your plan to fix those? Because these areas already built, most of them are built by builders who also happen to be politicians. Big money is being paid to politicians. Now you're not going to change the situation.
Rahul, this is a legacy problem. This is a serious issue. And once this whole Bengaluru lake and the outer ring road flooding issue took place, last year, the government went on an overdrive on clearing all of these big buildings, these residential and commercial buildings which were built encroaching lake lands. This was very seriously dealt with, and even as we speak,
but a lot of it is just
rupees.
Status quo because it is the way. Because those buildings have already been built.
Those buildings have been cleared. Many have been demolished, and many more. The courts have, stayed, and the matter is in process. And once the orders will be removed, the stay orders will be vacated. Those buildings will also meet the same fate. They will be demolished as well. There was encroachment. There was polluted water that would come. Even this lake was frothing just a few years ago, and you see the transformation now. And the other thing is, Rahul, in Bangalore, the lakes are an interconnected chain. So
used to be an interconnected.
To a great extent, we have been trying to revive this whole thing. Encroachment done by whosoever, whether it is done by a politician from the BJP or the Congress, it's a crime on the city. Okay. The government is very serious about preventing this issue. Who better a judge in democracy than public themselves?
Is it getting worse? Is it getting slightly better?
Only one thing I don't like is that they put fencing here. Earlier it was totally open, but if you think about the improvement, it's a lot. Earlier
because the general impression of Bengaluru lakes is all the froth, the chemicals.
No, I didn't see it. There's some bad smell at end of the lake, but that's because they are cleaning it, I guess. But
no, you don't have to be diplomatic just because your MP is here.
No, you can like diplomatic and all. And they believe, I guess, the free speech, right? I'm just freely expressing myself. Okay, that's all. Like, my father-in-law is kind of congressman and my mama is like a BJP, so it's a mix in my family.
And who are you?
I just vote whichever I see development, right? So I go back to Belgaum and see where development is, if it stay. Like,
so you're on the fence?
Yeah.
But he doesn't like fences.
Swing voter. On the fence, who doesn't like fences? So what are the issues you'd want Netas to focus on which you think aren't being focused on?
So see, the parks are well built, but now our responsibility to maintain morning and all. So if there is some facility to park and all, that will be much better.
What do you not like?
No. I'm more than that. I think what we have developed in last 4-5 years is excellent.
But what will happen in last 4 years?
4 years it has developed a lot.
What happened?
No,
what happened? What development will happen? Tell me.
You think it hasn't developed?
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Why nothing happened?
I'll tell you.
Just these things happen. Just these things happen. There is just 6 months after they put some instrument. Just 6 months before.
These kinds of stuff I have been seeing here for quite some time. Right. I don't know why it's taking too long to construct these kinds of stuff, like these kinds of places.
Yeah, park is doing well, but only thing main concern is toilets. Toilets are very, very worst and all. Because even if it is put as a paid, people are ready to pay. It is very, very worst and all. That actually needs to be done, and nowhere we will get the water.
One of the biggest problems of Bengaluru is the wretched traffic. It just keeps getting worse each time I come here.
One of the best ways to understand the city's traffic and urban mobility challenge is to perhaps take a ride in one of our BMTC buses.
How about we stop on one of the bus stops and get into a bus?
Sure, we will. So Rahul, one of the BMTC buses, please come. Anna, namaskara. Chennagidira? ಏನು ಹೆಸರು? ಕೃಷ್ಣೇಗೌಡ್ರೆ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. It's been almost 2-3 years now, Rahul, that I've carried any cash at all.
Don't carry any cash.
To be very honest, it's only when I come to Delhi that, in some places there is need for cash. But even that has greatly, reduced now.
How has it been for you to be a member of parliament?
It's been a
You are the
great,
youngest MP?
From the BJP, yes. So it's been a great, learning experience. The very fact that, I get to represent a constituency of this kind, which is India's growth engine, is itself a very big
Who's your
responsibility.
closest friend in parliament?
Well, there are many seniors, who mentor me among the seniors. And among the younger ones, I have friends across parties. Pratap Simha from Mysore, one of the young dynamic MPs from Bangalore. Mysore is one of my closest friends. From Andhra, there is another friend, Krishna Devarayulu. Then from Darjeeling, Raju Bista is also our...
In the Congress, who's your friend?
Well, in the Congress, I think I have had a lot of interactions with Karthi Chidambaram. He and I share the same birthday, actually.
Raghav's just getting married, huh? So you're thinking about settling down, or how do you...
Well, my mother is very keen that I get married soon, so let's see, maybe after the elections or something. Raghav in that sense is lucky, so he's more charming as well.
Interesting. But when I go to a city like Ahmedabad, Surat, Delhi, I see the traffic situation getting better. Bigger flyovers. Here, the infrastructure is not growing at the same rate as the traffic and the vehicles. Our netas are not being able to keep up.
You have highlighted the problem very aptly, in the sense that the economic pace of growth of Bangalore is much higher than the infrastructure pace of Bangalore. This was the case until very recently. I'll give a case in point. The suburban rail project was pending for 40 years. And this project, if it had materialized and fructified at the right time, would have greatly helped reduce and decongest the city. But now, thanks to the Prime Minister's intervention, what hasn't happened in 40 years is getting done in 40 months.
Should we also get off?
Sure.
Let's
We've
go.
reached our stop. So the STRR is another project which is now, getting implemented, and by the end of this very year, 50% of the STRR work of 2 phases will be thrown open for public use. In 2014, Rahul, the connectivity of metro in Bengaluru was a paltry 7 kilometers, and today it is 70 kilometers. By the end of next year, it is going to be 100 kilometers. So, the pace of metro construction is the highest right now. As you see, all of these pillars are the metro 2A and 2B phase. So by end of next year, Rahul, this is the central Silk Board junction, known for its notorious traffic jam. By next year, Rahul, when hopefully we do one more episode of Jab We Met next year around this time, you will be able to go to Bengaluru International Airport right from here, and you will be able to reach the airport in 30-35 minutes flat.
By metro.
By metro. A long pending demand from citizens of Bengaluru was to introduce institutionalize an authority, the Bengaluru Metropolitan Land Transport Authority, which is going to coordinate all the activities of these different urban mobility parastatals. So the Bommai government passed the BMLTA Act, and today there is going to be an authority in the city which is going to not only plan the city's urban mobility, but is also going to help understand the future demand of the city's traffic. Rahul, your trip to Bengaluru will be incomplete if you do not savor our very famous masala dosa at MTR. Let me treat you for a breakfast.
So we've come to the Mavli Tiffin Rooms.
Yes, Mavalli Tiffin Rooms. It's called MTR. It's one of the oldest, most popular breakfast joint of.
You come
old
here
Bengaluru.
often?
I try to, because you get the best dosas and idli here. Namaskara. Sir, ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಿ? Rahul
Namaskara.
is one of the key persons of this establishment. Sir, ಏನೇನೆಲ್ಲ ಫೇಮಸ್ ಇದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೂರು ಕೊಡಿ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ತಿನ್ಸೋಣ ಇವರಿಗೆ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆಗೆ.
So what is most famous over here? Rava idli and masala dosa. Okay, so that's what we'll order then. But this is also largely BJP bastion.
What can I do if everything is a BJP bastion in Bangalore? It's not my fault.
People in Bengaluru usually don't go out to vote. There's a lot of apathy over here. You know, they say everything but nobody comes.
Mainly because here North Indian population is more and they are not interested in local politics.
Is there enthusiasm this time in the election, or you think it's a bit thanda, flat?
I think so. There is enthusiasm in this time because it's a very important election. So.
See, very smartly I see you're also campaigning simultaneously, huh? Not just shooting but using it as an opportunity to do a little bit of campaigning.
I keep coming to MTR everywhere.
Can we join you guys? You're okay, right? You all like politics or don't like politics? Like, love politics?
Absolutely.
I thought most young people don't like politics.
No, I don't think if you, at the end of the day, if you want to bring a change in the particular society, right, you need to get into politics, I believe.
You want to get into politics yourself?
Of course.
For which party?
For me, it depends not on the party but on the ideology. And my ideology is pretty clear, it's Hindutva.
So what are we ordering?
The best here, Rahul, is their rava idli and their masala dosa. So I hope you're not those who eats dosa with a spoon and fork.
No. Nobody eats dosa with a spoon and a fork.
No.
You're just giving North Indians a bad name for no reason.
No, see, I never said North Indians. Why are you like the Congress trying to bring North-South divide everywhere?
This looks like a dessert.
This is called Chandrahara.
Why are you bringing dessert before you bring me breakfast?
Yes, first.
What is? Why are we having sweet before breakfast?
So the idea is that the coffee comes at the end.
Okay.
So you will not be able to enjoy the coffee taste if you eat sweet along with the coffee. So the dessert comes first, then you eat the breakfast, then you end it with a strong filter coffee. So that's the 3 course.
Are you careful about what you eat, or is it very difficult to be careful given what you do?
I love sweets.
All BJP walas have a sweet tooth.
We are sweet people. Bengaluru South, actually, Rahul, is a foodie's paradise. It's finally here. You know, you get more hungry when you sit at the table waiting for food. This is rave idli. So during the World War, there was a restriction on the import of rice. So then Mr. Maya, who is the founder of this restaurant, he tried to make idli using rava, and that's how the rave idli was born.
Delicious, so soft. So what does Tejasvi Surya do when he's not doing politics?
Well, I try to do some running and cycling. I try to read. I try to catch up with my friends. So,
how's your equation with your friends changed after you became a politician?
the only change is that I'm not able to spend a lot of time as much as I used to earlier, but otherwise everything else is the same.
Do they treat you differently now that you're a big shot?
Oh, I'm not any big shot, Rahul. I am a very simple Bangalore boy, and I will continue to remain the same way.
What excites you more?
National politics is something that interests me more. But like I said, politics is one profession where there is more variables than constants, more things out of your control than your control. So I think there needs to be a great sense of equanimity in the way you approach politics.
Are you disappointed with just the kind of cast of characters in the BJP? The fact that so many of them are imports, contractors, other party fellows, so there's very little commitment to ideology. Just whoever can win, whoever's got money seems to be coming in.
Rahul, I am coming from Bindu constituency in the coastal Karnataka region. I came back only yesterday. Our candidate there is one Mr. Gururaj Gantihode. Even to this day, he walks without wearing slippers.
That might be an exception.
No, I'm saying that these are stories that need to be celebrated.
Half the Karnataka politicians are contractors, businessmen, and cutting across party lines, no ideology. Are you surprised that the Congress is running as good a campaign as they are?
Well, the Congress is fighting for its survival, and the only place where they have some kind of a presence here is in Karnataka. So they naturally want to milk Karnataka to fuel their national ambitions and their revival again.
If they win Karnataka,
it's going to be an ATM. Karnataka is going to be an ATM for the Congress party. And my question to the Congress is, if you have so much of evidence that this is a 40% government, this is a corrupt government, why have you in the last 5 years not gone to the police? Why have you not gone to the Lokayukta? Why have you not gone to the high courts? Why have you not filed a PCR? Are all institutions dead? Not a shred of evidence, not a single charge sheet, not a single FIR.
But the campaign stuck. Like you speak to people on the road, even they know of PCM, right?
Yes, so that is not going to be. It's a campaign. A movie can be popular. It doesn't mean that it is going to reflect in votes.
Because the big difference is, in 2018, you were asking to come to power, promising a double engine. Now people have already seen what a double engine in Karnataka looks like.
Is why they are going to vote us again.
Well, we'll see what the voters of Karnataka want on the 10th of May. You've treated us to some delicious breakfast and enjoyed spending the morning with you. Tejasvi, we wish you all the best, and may the best man, woman or party win.
Thank you so much for your advance congratulations,
and
Rahul.
All the best for your marriage.
Thank you.
Bihar's Bahubali Rajput politician Anand Mohan Singh goes back to prison one last time. Anand Mohan, who was convicted of the murder of IS officer G. Krishnaiah in 2007, will soon walk out a free man, thanks to the Nitish Kumar government, which has remitted his life sentence. The slain IS officer's family is crying injustice.
After we got to know about this decision that has been taken by Bihar government, it is very unfair that the government has not thought about the family who has suffered so much.
The release of the gangster-turned-politician has triggered massive outrage. The BJP has targeted its former ally Nitish Kumar over the decision to free Anand Mohan Singh.
मेरे ख्याल से आनंद मोहन जी की रिहाई, वो बेचारे तो बलि के बकरा हैं, वो तो इतनी सजाब हो गए हैं, उनकी रिहाई पर किसी को कोई आपत्ति नहीं है, लेकिन आनंद मोहन जी के आड़ में जो काम किया है ये सरकार समाज कभी नहीं माफ करेगी.
Anand Mohan Singh was on parole to attend his son and RJD MLA Chetan Anand's engagement when the decision was announced. He dodged queries on his impending release.
अब जितना सवाल जवाब करना था सबका दे चुके हैं, कुछ नया नहीं है. अब निकला जो फैसला आया था उसका आईएएस एसोसिएशन में आज प्रणाम करते हैं, आइए सबको प्रणाम करते हैं.
The Mahagathbandhan has defended Anand Mohan Singh's release.
माननीय सुशील मोदी जी, आपने कहा है मात्र 73 दिन पहले ये दस्तावेज हैं और आप यह कह रहे हैं कि यद्यपि कृष्णैया हत्याकांड में भीड़ को उकसाने या हत्या के अपराध में आनंद मोहन सीधे तौर पर दोषी नहीं है, फिर भी उन्हें उम्र कैद की सजा हुई है. यह माननीय सुशील मोदी जी का ट्वीट है और बयान है। कानून अपना काम कर रहा, आम और खास के बीच अंतर मिटाएगा, इसके राजनीतिकरण का कोई औचित्य नहीं।
Krishnaiah was the district magistrate of Gopalganj when he was lynched by a mob during Lalu Prasad Yadav's rule. The Nitish Kumar government has tweaked prison rules to facilitate the release of Anand Mohan from jail. Earlier rules did not allow remission for those convicted of murdering a public servant on duty. Bureau Report, India Today.
Welcome to Belgaum.
Make all their food in Nandini ghee, the breakfast. Very good mango juice. Good to see you. Am I talking to a future chief minister?
BJP वेक करे सिद्धरामैया मुख्यमंत्री आएगा.
और दिल्ली में
मोदी जी.
BJP says how much we have given Mr. Shettar.
I built the party in North Karnataka.
BJP सब महंगा कर रहे हैं. What are the real issues facing Karnataka according to corruption or Hindu-Muslim? The new KGF star.
ये है मटन शाही बिरयानी.
5 different types of biryani. Enjoy.
It's the big summer battle in the Deccan. And the best view is always from the ground.
Elections here mostly fought on the metrics of caste.
Who better than a seasoned political reporter to catch the mood of the state? Ready with her election dispatch. Coming soon only on India Today.
Mr. Scindia has just literally recovered from COVID. This is the first time since he got well that he's actually left the city. He had us with our hearts in our mouth, wondering whether he'll be fine on time. But here he is. He kept his promise. He'd given a commitment, and we're very thankful. Thank you, Minister. I hope you're fighting fit or on the way there.
When I'm on the munch with you, I have to be fighting fit. I don't have an option.
It's really nice to have you with us, and thank you. We're seeing passenger numbers for the civil aviation sector hitting record numbers. I want you to just use this opportunity to explain to everyone watching at this moment about your vision for the aviation sector in India and how you see us move from where we've reached to about 140 million passengers. Where do you see us go in the next couple of years?
So first of all, Arun Puriji, Rahul, thank you very much for having me here this evening. It's really not only a pleasure, but you're not allowed to do that, by the way. You have me with no notes and you have copious notes on your phone. Is that fair?
You don't need notes. You've got it all in your mind.
Oh, that's typical Rahul Kanwal. Round of applause for him.
He doesn't need notes. He'll try and drag me every once in a while, so just stay with us.
So, with regard to the point that you made, I think like multiple sectors in India, civil aviation is seeing new opportunities and new growth. When we talk about infrastructure in India, as Arun Puri just said, it's changing at a massive, fast pace that has never been envisioned before. But infrastructure has been the bedrock of India's growth, not today, but over the last 1,000 years. How so? The first armada, if you will, or sea transport system was brought in place by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, almost 500, 600 years ago. On the infrastructure side, you look at the GT road that was built in India. The civil aviation sector, we've got Chandrasekharanji sitting here. Air India is a pioneering airline of the private sector, started its service not post-independence, but pre-independence, where it connected not only the big cities that we talk about. In those days, it used to be Bombay, Delhi, and Kolkata, because Kolkata was the center of trade and commerce. But it also connected cities in the heartland of India, like Indore. It connected Gwalior in those days. I'm talking about 1942. So infrastructure has been the bedrock of India's progress. But in the last 9 years, the tectonic transformation, the tectonic shift that we have seen, 75,000 kilometers of highway in 2013-14, 150,000 kilometers of highway today, doubling that amount in a period of 9 years. If you look at the naval side in terms of transportation or otherwise in the port sector, and civil aviation as well. We had 74 airports that were built in 2013-14. In 9 years today, we've doubled that number to 148, including heliports and other infrastructure. So if you look at the growth rate of civil aviation or other infrastructure in India, it's been explosive and dynamic. And let me tell you, Rahul, we're not going to stop here. We've built 148 airports, heliports, and waterdromes, 74 in the last 9 years. And we're going to take this number above 200 in the next 4 to 5 years. That's the scorching pace of growth that we're going to look at. On the passenger side, we had 60 million passengers on the domestic side in 2013-14. We have 144 million passengers as on date. If you combine domestic passengers with international passengers, we're looking at a total of 200 million in this country. I'm looking at a forecast of close to about this 200 million number doubling to 400 million in the next 5 years. That's the kind of exposure and the growth that this sector is going to undergo. Another data point for you, the number of people traveling today on by first air condition and second air condition by train, which is our nearest, I don't want to use the word competitor, but our nearest Sehbagi, if I may say that, is close to about 185 million. Civil aviation is at 144 million. But the CAGR of railways is 5.6%. Civil aviation CAGR is 10.3%. And on your show tonight, let me commit that within the next decade, we will be ahead of the railways in terms of transportation for a first AC and second AC comparatively in the area of civil aviation.
Mr. Scindia, you were the blue-eyed boy of the UPA government. You now hold important portfolios in the Modi Sarkar. What's the difference between being a minister in a Congress government and being a minister in a BJP government?
If you want me to put it succinctly, Rahul, as you're well aware, my background was, prior to being in public service, was a professional background. I was a banker for 6.5 years. And in a professional background, we look at deadlines. We look at timelines. We look at PERT charts. We look at Gantt charts. Having worked with the Prime Minister and in this government over the last 2 years, this is a government that is focused on delivery, focused on performance, focused on implementation. And let me give you an example of that. In cabinet meetings, when we meet and we discuss and we talk, the Prime Minister's constant refrain is that I do not want this government to be a government like many others before mine, which has heralded in countless number of schemes. But what I want you all to achieve, every single person around this table, is to make sure that the schemes that have been implemented achieve 100% saturation. So our concentration is on 100% saturation. Whether it's the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, whether it is the Ujjwala Yojana, whether it is the Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana, whether in my area in civil aviation and steel, the targets that we have set, and I set internal targets, and many people seated here today between my two ministries have experienced how we work together as a group. We set targets for ourselves within our team, whether it's 6-month targets, quarterly targets, annual targets, and we review those very much like you would in the multiple portfolios that you're handling today. So we are seeing today, for the first time in the history of India, a professional private sector and a professional government.
I was hoping for a slightly easier, lighter answer. You gave a very serious answer. No, because you were earlier part of Rahul Gandhi's core circle. Mr. Gandhi himself said that Jyotir could walk into my house anytime. He was quite disappointed when you left. And now I see you do press conferences where you're attacking Rahul Gandhi. How easy or tough is that? Because I see you do that press conference and I wonder, given where you were to where you are now, how does it play in your head?
Very simply, and I'll tell you this. First of all, you have to understand, Rahul, where my calling comes from. My calling doesn't come from either politics, post, or chair. Arun ji here has been familiar with 3 generations of my family. My grandmother, my father, and now with me. My father used to put it very succinctly, and it's something that didn't ring inside me until that responsibility weighed on me. He said, जिंदगी में हमारा लक्ष्य राजनीति नहीं होना चाहिए, हमारा लक्ष्य जनसेवा होना चाहिए, और राजनीति केवल एक माध्यम होनी चाहिए उस लक्ष्य की पूर्ति करने के लिए. So you've got to make sure that your goal is pure, your vision is pure, and then you have to choose the path towards that. Very simply put, I think any successful institution in the world, whether it's the India Today group, whether it's many of the groups that have spanned generations seated in this auditorium today, have 3 challenges before them. 1, how do you attract talent? 2, how do you retain talent? And 3, how do you respect talent? And if you're not able to attract talent, if you're not able to retain talent, and most importantly, because at the end of the day, we as human beings don't care about post, money, and all of that. At the end of the day, we only, and we should, only care about our self-respect. If you're not able to respect talent, then you're not going to survive for very long. And I think Samazdar ko ishara kafi hai.
Very interesting. You know, one of the, you haven't said so publicly, but it's quite obvious that one of the things that you'd like to do is to be Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh. There's a big election in a few months from now. Is that something that plays in your head at some point in time? Not necessarily in December, but at some point in time?
So let me answer that very clearly to you. I sometimes think that it's, I don't think whether I should call it a genetic order or a genetic disorder. But this attribute, stroke accusation, stroke deficiency, if you will, was something that was always first attributed to my grandmother, then my father, and I hope in my lifetime to me. After the many turns and twists in my life, Rahul, especially one significant one, which was 22 years ago, my thinking has become much more philosophical. And I believe that it's important in life, in your daily life, to be true to yourself, to be true to the cause that you live for and want to strive for. And I don't think that being ambitious for a post or a position is something that is necessarily a virtuous attribute. I think dil aur atma sahi jagah honi chahiye. और अगर दिल और आत्मा सही जगह हो, उस सफर पे जैसे अटल जी कहते थे, ये भी सही, वो भी सही.
Mr. Scindia at his philosophical best. You know, one last question, we'll wrap up very soon. You know, switching from one...
So I'm not... So just finishing that off, that thought. To be very candid with you, I'm not ambitious for myself. but I'm extremely ambitious for development. I'm extremely ambitious for progress because I'm blessed and I'm thankful every single minute of my life for the opportunity that I have been given. And I think if you're on that path to serve, you must have that honesty of purpose. And I think it's very important to be ambitious to change the paradigm, ambitious to change the way things are. And I'm going to quote Nelson Mandela because he's in many ways my idol. And he said once, in the 30 years that he spent in prison, where he was in a dark, dingy cell, and the only ray of light that he had was through a 2 foot by 2 foot window about 2.5 feet above his head. And he said that most of us think of the way things are and ask the question why. I think of that has never been and ask the question, why not?
A blood-smeared dupatta, blood stains on the floor, on clothes, and on a knife. Blood stains spotted at Atiq Ahmed's office on April 24, when nothing of that sort was seen here on April 19. The gangster used this building as a torture chamber for his captives. The intriguing emergence of blood marks inside confounded investigators.
ब्लड स्टेन्स हैं उनको कलेक्ट किया गया है फील्ड यूनिट के द्वारा, उस सैंपल को हम एनालिसिस के लिए भेज रहे हैं। बाकी यहाँ पे आसपास जो सीसीटीवी फुटेज हैं उसका एनालिसिस कर रहे हैं और जैसे ही कोई और हमें लाभप्रद सूचना मिलती है तो हम आपको अवगत कराएंगे।
सर क्या लगता है ये ब्लड जो है वो किसी इंसान का है या किसी जानवर का?
देखिए वो
चाकू मिला है?
देखिए वो मैं कंफर्म तभी हम कर पाएंगे जब लैब से रिपोर्ट आ जाएगी।
The forensic report is out. The findings show these stains are indeed from human blood. For investigators, the mystery has just deepened. Which humans suffered trauma and how at Atiq Ahmed's torture chamber after his murder. Bureau Report, India Today.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 38 and minimum 26 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 30 and minimum 26 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 39 and minimum 27 degrees. Bengaluru, maximum 33 and minimum 22 degrees. Chennai, maximum 31 and minimum 27 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 35 and minimum 23 degrees.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Welcome to Belgaum.
Make all their food in Nandini ghee, the breakfast.
Very good mango juice.
Good to see Am I talking to a future chief minister?
बीजेपी वेक करे सिद्धरामैया मुख्यमंत्री आएगा
और दिल्ली में
मोदी जी
BJP says how much we have given Mr. Shettar.
I built the party not Karnataka
बीजेपी सब महंगा कर रहे हैं. What are the real issues facing Karnataka according to you? Corruption or Hindu Muslim? The new KGF star.
ये है मटन शाही बिरयानी
5 different types of biryani. Enjoy.
It's the big summer battle in the Deccan. And the best view is always from the ground.
Elections here mostly fought on the metrics of caste.
Who better than a seasoned political reporter to catch the mood of the state? Ready with her election dispatch. Coming soon only on India Today.
He's always called himself a chief minister of the Aam Aadmi, wearing sandals and a simple shirt. He had refused any convoy, insisting on travelling in his blue Wagoner. But it turns out Kejriwal is not as Aam Aadmi as you thought, at least going by his 44 crore home renovation bill. That's right, a whopping 44 crores has reportedly been used to refurbish Kejriwal's civil lines official residence, and that too during the COVID pandemic. So while Delhiites were fighting it out for oxygen cylinders, while Delhiites were fighting for their lives in hospitals, this was how your money was being spent by the Delhi Chief Minister. Nearly 11.3 crore was splurged on interior decor, on artistic work, a fancy staircase and even decorative pillars and curtains. 6 crores was spent on imported white Dior pearl marble and coating for the plush marble flooring. Over 2.5 crores was spent on smart lights, hot water generators and smart ceiling fans. And then 1.1 crore on revamping the kitchen, complete with a steam oven, built-in barbecue and a fancy chimney. This massive expense by the Delhi Chief Minister has sparked a big political storm as the BJP has lashed out at Kejriwal. Protests broke out in the national capital even as AAP has chosen to dismiss all the criticism.
पर्दे में रहने दो, पर्दा ना उठाओ, पर्दा जो उठ गया तो भेद खुल जाएगा. मगर मैं धन्यवाद देता हूं मीडिया का, पर्दा आखिरकार उठ ही गया. 45 crore rupees have been spent for the renovation of the bungalow of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, जिन्होंने ये कहा था कि हम एक कमरे में रहेंगे. मैंने आपको सुनाया, हम राजनीति बदलने आए. जो राजनीति बदलने आते हैं वो 8 लाख के पर्दे के तले छुप के नहीं रहते हैं, वो 45 करोड़ का महल नहीं बनाते हैं.
मुख्यमंत्री के घर को चर्चा का विषय बनाना चाहती है भारतीय जनता पार्टी. मुख्यमंत्री के घर को विषय बनाकर असली मुद्दों से ध्यान भटकाना चाहती है भारतीय जनता पार्टी. और आज मैं भाजपा के प्रवक्ता संबित पात्रा को सुन रहा था, अगर तुम में जरा भी नैतिक साहस है तो पूरे देश से अपने प्रधानमंत्री जी को बोलिए कि पूरे देश से हाथ जोड़कर माफी मांगे कि कोरोना के समय में चुनावी रैलियां करके कोरोना क्यों फैला रहे थे.
Khas Aadmi Kejriwal is now facing fire over his renovation splurge. But there's been silence from the Delhi Chief Minister on his 44 crore